happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Joseph.
I feel like February is in like full swing right now. Like this sounds really weird. Super Bowl's done. It's just winter grind. I got nothing else to look forward to until summer. So I'm like, it's just time to do nothing but work.
There's like something in the air once the Super Bowl ends. It's like, okay, football's done. Winter's kind of over. Even though I know it's still cold out, but it kind of feels like spring is in the air.
It's a weird season for sure. And honestly, getting this 40 degrees in February, it's kind of like messing me up. My internal like clock of like, what is it? Is it nice? Is it not?
I know.
I don't know. It's a weird deal right
weird
now.
Everything's melting already, but we still got a few snowstorms in us. There's a few still out there.
Well, it's weird enough. You talk about it's a weird season. I mean, the fact that like Sam Darnold just won the Super Bowl, that alone is strange enough. Dude, that the Vikings owner punched his TV last night.
Yeah.
He just straight up got up and just punched it.
Yeah.
14-3, and they said, nope, JJ McCarthy's our guy.
It's so bad, man. It's tough. I couldn't even watch. I don't even want to watch Sports Center this morning because that's all they're talking about, just like how pathetic the Vikings are. And it's hard to watch.
It's brutal. Normally I'm praying on the Vikings downfall, but after that, I got a little sympathy for you.
I feel like you've got to feel bad for me a little bit.
I do. And then honestly, this is like me just really gloating here. I got the Eagle sweatshirt on and all. But when Jalen Hurts came out before the game with the other NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVPs, did you see that?
Yeah.
It's like him, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. I was just like, you know what? Mad respect for the Eagles right now. My boy is out there.
He's killing it.
He's killing it. I was like, you know what? We can let Seattle win. It's okay.
Joseph, I got to tell you this quick TikTok I saw this morning. It was a video of JJ McCarthy, fake JJ McCarthy walking into like the Vikings owner's office this morning. It was like, hey, coach, I got some really good ideas for you this year. And the owner's like, what is it, JJ? Like, and he's like, he just watched the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold's like, what do you want, JJ? And he's like, get the hell out of my office.
We're done.
and JJ's doing his like alter ego thing again. And it's just like, oh my God, we are so bad.
That's brutal.
Why did we do this?
You know what? And I didn't really care who won. I mean, I'm glad to see Sam Darnold win. But the fact the Patriots didn't win, like, kind of even better. You got to give it to Seattle. Patriots fans being like, oh, we haven't been in a little while. You, as a Vikings fan, you're probably like, shut up.
Literally.
Shut up. Don't say anything to me about that ever.
This year was just so weird. I don't think either team will be back next year. I think that like the Chiefs, the Ravens, one of those standard teams are going to be back again.
What are the Bills going to do with Josh Allen?
Oh boy.
I mean, not at least making it to the Super Bowl. Not even the AFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's no
tough.
Lamar, no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Eagles to get like.
Yeah, it was wide open this year.
It was wide open,
dude. I saw Josh Allen is in the same. He was in the same draft class as Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold made it to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl before Josh Allen.
That hurts.
That really hurts.
That hurts.
That's got to be tough to watch.
I'm sorry, Bills fans. That is brutal.
Yeah.
So season over, off to 2027, I guess.
Off to 2027.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were in Florida.
I was.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Florida was nice.
How did that go?
Yeah, dude. The only problem is I've never been cold in Florida until this last trip. I'm not even kidding you. It is cold there right now.
I've got a really small violin. I'm going to play it for you really quietly in Florida. Yeah, I was in Florida. I had to put my jacket on.
I had to wear a sweatshirt. It was nice though. The sun makes it feel a lot warmer. I remember Jordan and I, we were walking on the beach and we just like laid on the beach and just literally didn't even talk to each other. We just felt the sun. Because I haven't felt the sun in 6 months.
That is nice.
I don't even know what it feels like anymore.
That is
sad.
Nice. That is nice. And you were down there for what? 4 days? 5 days?
Just 2.5 days. Yeah.
Oh,
it was quick. It was just Thursday to Sunday. We got back yesterday. Yeah, it was fast. We landed right as the Super Bowl started. So just in time. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any trips coming up?
I think I'm running down to Arizona again, probably in March.
Yeah.
But I've just got a lot of stuff to do right now, work wise. And normally this is a great time to go somewhere. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't even want to leave for like a week because I just know a week of missing work just is
It's not worth it.
It'd be hectic. It'd be really, really hectic when I got back here.
Yeah.
So
I only left for 2 days last week, and this Monday has just been brutal.
yeah. Are you fighting some deals going on right now? Or what do you got going on
yeah,
there?
Dude, like, I know your dad's an appraiser, but F appraisers, dude. They are the absolute worst to deal with, man.
I didn't know that's what that was about. Interesting.
Yeah, there's just the buyer is doing first time home buyer, and there's just a lot of rules and a lot of inspections that need to go on, just hand railings and baseboard heating not having the correct controls on it, and the appraiser's just grilling us all over the place, making sure they get fixed before the buyer moves in.
And you're representing the buyer?
The buyer.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're not really in the wrong. Like, that should kind of be on the seller, right?
Should be, but seller doesn't want to play ball.
Of course.
So you know how that goes.
Oh,
when the sellers
yeah.
don't want to cooperate and they just think that, but at this point, we're months into this deal, so it's just weeks into this deal. So no one really wants to back out. So the sellers kind of know where they have us. So we're trying to get them to play correctly too.
Yeah, and first time home buyers too. God bless them. I love them so much, but it's emotional.
It is.
You're spending a huge chunk of money. Like, for a lot of people, that's the largest purchase they'll have in their life. Especially their first home.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's emotional, and you're trying to work for them, and well, power to you. Hopefully you can get that deal done.
Yeah, the house was a rental for the longest time, and I didn't realize this, but the city of Fargo actually does like periodic inspections for the rentals pretty often, and the city dinged it a few times, but of course the seller refused to do any of the repairs, so now it's falling on us to do the repairs if the buyer wants to continue buying it.
Sure.
So it's just a lot of like dealing with the city, dealing with the appraiser, dealing with the lender, dealing with the client, and I'm just the middleman stuck in all
and
of
it's
this.
hard too, because a lot of times, like from what it sounds like sometimes the buyer is willing to move forward without it.
Yep.
But the appraiser is requiring it to be done for FHA. So then, like you said, now it's like, who's going to pay for these
Who's
things
doing
to be
this?
done? Seller doesn't want to do it. Buyer doesn't really care. It's got to get done. Like, somebody's got to play ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just one of those deals, which it's fine. I mean, that's what my job is to do, but it's just like, holy smokes, email threads of 20 different emails going to 5 different people, and you're just trying to keep it all straight.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, my Monday hasn't been going that bad.
Okay.
It is a little hectic here. I am flipping a house in South Fargo right now, and I had a $25,000 budget.
Okay.
Well, I should have known better. I had a few things that we were going to try that I wanted to try and elevate myself from just being like the gray flooring and the gray wall house flipper. I wanted to do something kind of cool. So I had some ideas, and I was like, all right, let's implement them. I was like, they really shouldn't cost that much more. In my head, that's what I thought.
Sure.
And now that we're into them, I'm like, oh yeah, it ended up costing way more than I realized. So my budget is completely out of whack right now, which my price point went up. I put more money into it. My price point went up, but it's kind of like I did all that extra work to not make any more.
Really do any money. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole point was like, okay, well, I'd like to make a little bit on it if I'm going to work a little bit harder. So it's still going to work, still going to be a great project, but it's frustrating when I'm cutting out, $15,000 more on a budget than I had anticipated. And it's like, I basically will show nothing for it. It's kind of like,
what was the most like expensive thing that you didn't realize would cost so much extra?
The labor. I had
just the labor. Okay.
I had some labor on some flooring that we did, and the labor was like well over double by the time it was said and done.
Really?
Yeah. And usually it's kind of like time and material, and the hourly rate on this thing just got unbelievable. And great guy, love him to death, but yeah, I got the bill this morning, and I was like, oh, holy cow. I was like, yeah. So for a 1,900 square foot house, my flooring for 1,900 square feet was like $12,000, which is just asinine. That's like just paying through the nose. I had a $5,000 budget for flooring, and I'm well over double on just a couple things like that.
That's the thing about your business is like about flipping houses is sure you can learn from people and have mentors, and there's a little bit of a playbook, but there's not like here's what this is going to cost. Here's what this is going to cost to the T. Here's what the house is going to sell for. That's why you have so many like big wins and big losses.
For sure.
Like you have to win really big because you need to cover up on the ones that you lost. And that's not really your fault necessarily. I'm sure you've made mistakes, but like there isn't just a magical book that says, okay, this is exactly what this is going to cost. It's going to depend on the carpenter that you hired and how long it took him and what he charges.
Right. Well, and there's sometimes too, like, you're looking at a house, and I think a problem, it's not a problem, but sometimes I buy houses and they're just filled with a lot of stuff. And so there's sometimes like, I mean, I've bought in houses before where I've been like, dude, I can't even see 2 of the rooms. So, I mean, I have to price adjust some for that, but there's times you get into something and then you get something moved or you take a wall down and then you're like, oh my God, you're like, I was not expecting XYZ problems behind it. And like I said, it's fine. It's still going to work. But yeah, when you kind of get down to crunching numbers, it's kind of like, all right, here, we gotta wrap this thing up. I'm about done spending money. So
yeah, that's fair.
But we're moving on the one. So that one's all right. We should be listed by this Friday. I've got another one we just started on Friday. So we're working forward on that one. That one's going to be a rental. So that one's nice. And it's honestly, it's about the perfect house. It's just like 1,000 square feet upstairs, 1,000 square feet down. It's just a rectangular poured foundation, late 70s. There's just nothing to it. 412 pitch on the roof, like my perfect type of house. I would love to flip it and make money, but it's too good of a house and it's too cheap to not keep it as a rental.
That was going to be my question, and I feel like a lot of people would ask that too. What makes a flip house and what makes a rental house that you want to keep?
Yeah, a rental house for me is literally getting in and keeping my cost as low as possible. Trying to make a single family house cash flow as a rental is
difficult.
It's difficult, unless you just plan on putting $100,000 down, which, that's not what I'm trying to do. So if I can get into a house, like I'll just give you the numbers on this one. So my all-in budget on buying a house and renovating it, $135,000. What's for sale for $135,000? It doesn't exist.
Nothing.
Like that's so far away from reality. It doesn't even exist.
Nothing worth living in.
Yep. Nothing. I mean, it would be like damn near a tear down at $135,000. So I'm going to be $135,000 into this house. Nice, cleaned up, new appliances, decent bathroom, new carpet, new flooring, light fixtures. It's going to be really cute inside. Okay.
Sure.
It has to rent for like $1,700 a month to make that work.
Sure.
Okay. So, I mean, that's like basic math. $135,000 all in. It needs to rent for $1,700. Okay. Where are you going to find a house for $135,000 that's going to rent for $1,700? It doesn't.
You will not find it.
It's mystical.
Yep.
So think about how much it would have to rent for if you had $225,000 into a house. It would need to rent for $3,500.
Yep.
Like those numbers just don't correlate. So for me, keeping the rentals is getting into a house for just an astronomically low price and keeping it at an astronomically low price and keeping it as affordable as possible.
So basically,
and that just doesn't happen very often.
Sure. So basically, if it can cash flow or basically pay for itself on a month-to-month basis, and just for people who don't know what cash flow means, just basically mean your all-in costs, your loan payment, your insurance, your taxes. If your rent exceeds what your monthly payment is, then you will almost all the time keep it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. And the whole point of being all in on that. So I use that. It's like the Burr method that I use. So my $135,000 that I'm in on cash, my goal is to turn that into long-term financing, get my $135,000 back. And then now it's cash flowing or floating itself.
Yep.
Otherwise I would have like, say you bought a house for $200,000, and it's like, well, it only rents for $1,800 a month. Well, you would have to pay $75,000 to get it to that $125,000 loan value. I'm throwing a lot of numbers out, but it's to try and get something and get all your money back out with the Burr method is almost impossible.
Yep.
So I found this one, got a good deal on it. It's not the perfect house, but it will be very cute and very livable, very safe by the time it's done.
Yeah. Well, and all these rentals that you accumulate, that just gives you more leverage to buy more in the future. Just like you said, I mean, my first house that I purchased, it barely cash flows. However, I've held on to it for 4 years, which now allow me to buy storage units.
And time is our friend.
Yes.
Right? You and I can afford to wait and afford to do that.
Yep.
And something that like right now I look at it and I go, oh man, it'd be nice. I could probably flip it and make 50 grand. Or I could keep that $50,000 in equity, and in 5 years, it's probably going to be $100,000 in equity.
Yeah.
And then it's exactly like you said. Now you've rolled it into something else.
Yeah.
So if you can afford to hold on to a house,
do it.
It is in your best interest to do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, unless I just absolutely cannot make it work, I'm keeping it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why so many people don't get into real estate investing, because you got to put the 20, and now I've seen a lot of banks are 25% down. So a $200,000 house, that's give or less 50 grand.
Yeah.
That I mean, you know, you look at your checking account, you're like, well, I don't want to spend 50 grand. That's a lot of money to almost anybody. But when you already have a property that's been accumulating equity, you can just pull it right out of that and then buy another property. And you're like, it doesn't feel like you lost any money. You're just using the equity you've already gained.
We live in a world here, and this is not to get too down a rabbit hole. I think it's easier to make money with money than it's ever been, but it's harder to make money in the first place than it's ever been. You look at 50 years ago, what did you have to do to make money? You started a business, you sold something, you ran a mom and pop store, you ran a little farm, you made money. But with that money, it was very hard to grow it exponentially. Well, you look at guys now, guys that have $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, you could buy Bitcoin or buy God knows whatever Amazon stock and double it in 2 years.
Yeah.
But to get $1 million right now feels like a mountain that's impossible to climb, you know? And that's why it's like that gap just keeps getting further and further of the guys that have already made it are making it. And guys that are at the bottom, it's like, dude, how the hell am I going to get $1 million?
I saw Dave Portnoy, the president of Barstool, said the same exact thing. He said, dude, once I made he made like 10 million after he sold one of his companies or shares of it. He goes, once I made my money, it was the easiest effing thing to do to make more. He's like, it's so easy. But he's like, to get to that point, that grind, you need to put in like that 5, 10, 20 years of the grind. And after that, you're set.
You're set.
And I think that's what you and me are kind of in that stage of like, we're trying to accumulate it and it's hard to get going. It's really difficult. But then 10 years from now, you're like, okay, I have money and I have leverage to make more money.
Yeah. It's just as, like you said, the initial grind of getting there. So we're living it. We're living it right now here.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. I think, dude, the best thing I ever did, and maybe it wasn't for you, but the best thing I ever did was just buy my first house as my primary residence, rent it out, and then turn it into a rental because I only had to come up with like $6,000 cash.
Yeah.
Where now, if you want to buy a rental, it's $40,000 cash.
The 25%
I don't have $40,000
down.
cash. It's chilling, doing nothing. So I don't know. That's my take on it.
Agreed. Well, we're off to a great start, man. I'm proud of you. This is it's been a good start of the year for us. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's time to keep grinding. Yeah. So I got that second one going. Nice. I got one more in Castleton. I'm getting ready to close on. Yeah, you're actually coming out, taking a peek at it here this week. So hoping to kind of get that one moved and make a quick little cash on that here, but we'll see. Worst case scenario, I'll renovate it and burn it and turn it and
fix it up.
Go from there here. So
yeah,
off to a great start, man. And I'm ready to keep grinding.
Let's do it.